I'm Greg Thompson. I'm the lead combative instructor for the Special Operations Combative Program, SOCP. Combative is relevant today, and it's been always relevant because of a use of force continuum. You can't always shoot everybody. At some point, you're going to have to lay hands on somebody. And when they want to fight or resist, and you may not have time enough for them to stall out, you may have to clear the next room, you're going to have to go hands-on. It's too easy to give somebody a rubber knife and say, let's just fight. At the end of the day, all the techniques that I've learned and what sculpted me to where I'm at right now is I came at it from a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu and MMA approach, meaning you need to win and lose a whole bunch of times under stress before you're even 50% ready for an altercation. Okay guys, if the combatant happens to have what's called a strong lead, that's with the lead hand forward, let's say that your lead leg's forward as well. If it's in play, you're not going to be able to pass to the far side. In all these situations, when a knife's in play, you need to break contact, you need to run, create space. That's going to be your first option. But we're saying here we can't break contact. Also with this technique here, we're going to end up going for the armpit and the back of the elbow to control. You may get this technique, maybe he's pulling it out of your body here as it comes out. Instead of focusing so much on the wrist, which you can, you really need to get one hand on the back of the elbow. The back of the elbow is the only way you're going to be able to control that piston. Also too, on this particular technique, you want to step offline. So if the line of leverage between he and I is right here, center line, I want to move off of this line right here. As I cup his elbow, I'm going to move down to the base of his thumb and I'm going to lunge with the headbutt. I want my head between center line of his body and the dominant weapon, which the dominant weapon we're going to say is his weapon right now. What I don't want to do is stop right here in any fight because he can take this hand out right here, so I need to get my head in there. So how this thing can go, if he comes with a stab here, I'm going to control the arm and the back of the elbow as I'm moving back. I'm going to lunge with a headbutt here to control him. This hand's going to snake through. When it snakes through here, I'm going to turn it slightly over at an angle. This hand's going to melt down. That way I can manipulate his arm a little bit better. If I stay right here, I cannot manipulate his wrist. As I melt down to here, I'm locking into here and I'm going to weigh this down. I don't want this arm to go all the way straight. I'm going to leave it slightly bent, but further enough I can stop the potential pass. When I'm weighing this down, I'm not going to necessarily bring this to my thigh. I'm going to bring my thigh to it, and I'm going to pin it over my wrist. Now I can look to move this thing away. From here, I can slam him straight to the ground, spin him into somebody else to break contact, stall out, or holler for support. Okay guys, that was the defense to front and weak lead. And for me, whatever I give somebody, they have to be able to do 6 months later, and they may not have trained for it. So I may have them for a short window. I can't give them anything that does not relate directly to their training. Because in reality, you're going to get stabbed and you're not going to disappear. You're going to have trouble processing. That Rolodex of answers are now trying to solve another answer. You can't afford to do that. You have to condition your mind to say, okay, I'm in this fight. I'm not looking at what's happening. I have to deal with it, make sure I don't get stabbed again or cut again. But you're still going to be there until you bleed out. And it takes too long to bleed out. You don't know if it's the first stab or the 100th stab that's going to be the one. So you have to continue to keep fighting back.